It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to March the 12th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were in Anaheim to take on the Ducks for the final time this regular season. Nashville Predators also wrapping up a 6-game road trip, second night of back-to-backs, if I couldn't add enough on. And John Hines is deploying his line combinations in the following way. Tomasino, Novak, and Duchesne make up your first line. Jankowski, Glass, and Sherwood your second line. Trennan, Sissons, and Smith. And yes, I accidentally almost wrote Janot out of force of habit from the old Herd line days. Afanaseyev, McCarron, and Asplund are your fourth line. Your defensive pairings are as follows. Yossi and Fabro, Ryan McDonough back in this game. Last night takes the puck to the face in the LA game. Late in that game, leaves that game. Incredible to see him back out there on the ice here for this game. And he's, of course, paired up with Barry, as he has been since the trade deadline. The two of them developing some nice chemistry, perhaps leading into not only down the stretch, but into next season. Luzon and Foote make up your third defensive pairing, and UC Saros gets the start in net. We go 140 into the first period. Gibson comes up with a save on Tomasino. It's the first shot on goal of the game. Just 3 seconds later, though, Gibson has to come up with another save on Sherwood at 4:12 the first period. McCarron's off the box, 2 minutes for interference. Only one shot on goal for the Anaheim Ducks during this power play. A very strong PK, as it has been as of late for the Nashville Predators. At 7:40 of the first period, Anaheim's going to pick up a bench minor. Too many men on the ice. Nashville Predators power play getting an opportunity to go to work. And Philip Tomasino cashing in with his third goal of the season. It was a wrist shot from the top of the circle for a while, wondering if somebody had gotten a tip off of this one. Tomasino, though, just with a brilliant shot from the face-off circle, gives the Preds a 1-0 lead in Anaheim. 12:07 into the first period. Gibson comes up with a save on Jankowski. 12:31. Gibson, a glove save on Sissons. 13:40 of the first period. Tommy Novak's 11th goal of the season gives the Preds a 2-0 lead over the Anaheim Ducks. It was a wrist shot snipe from the high slot. Tommy Novak again pulling the puck into the slot area and ripping a solid wrist shot. Preds now lead 2-0. But at 15:44 of the first period, McTavish is going to respond for Anaheim. His 15th goal of the season makes it 2-1. It was a wrist shot from the low circle, a turnover just outside the blue line, and that definitely led to the Nashville Predators having some difficulties in their own defensive zone. That was McTavish's 15th goal of the season. 16:04 of the first period, Saros comes up with a save on McTavish at close range. McTavish already back to work on the Preds. We hit the end of the first period with the Predators out shooting Anaheim 10-7, out leading on the scoreboard 2-1. We are just 35 seconds into the second period, and UC Saros is coming in with a save on Silverberg plus some rebound jam. The Ducks generating 4 shots on goal in the first 60 seconds of the period. At 2:06 of the second period, Saros comes with a save on McGinn. 2:20. Gibson comes with a save on Foote plus the rebound attempt by Glass, but it would not go. 4:46. Vetrano, his 16th goal of the season. It's a short side snipe from the face-off circle. It's the 8th shot on goal of the period, and remember, they only had 7 shots on goal in the entire first period, so in the first 4:46 of the second period, they've already eclipsed what they did in the first 20 minutes of the game. Vetrano with an absolute snipe right here ties the game at 2 apiece. We reset everything. We've got brand new hockey. The Nashville Predators, after being just absolutely run out of the rink for the first 6.5 minutes of the period, start to turn things around at the 7-minute mark when Gibson has to come up with a save on Afanaseyev. At 7:18, Saros has to come up with a save on Zegras, but then 9:06, Gibson back to work. Save on Trennan. At this point in time, Sissons gets high stick during the play. It was on the follow-through, so of course that's not a penalty, but it was an absolute gusher, and Colton Sissons, rarely do you see Colton Sissons drop the stick, the gloves, and everything and just immediately head to the locker room. This was one of those situations. Colton Sissons, man, that was tough to watch, that high stick. A lot of blood on the ice. Took a while to clean things up. Once we get things cleaned up, we hit 11:27 of the second period. That's when Gibson comes up with a save on Luzon. 12:21. Gibson comes up with a save on McDonough, with Duchesne setting the good screen and traffic in front. 15:40. Saros, a save on Grant at the end of a very long shift. The Nashville Predators were absolutely out of gas on defense. At 16:20 of the second period, Luzon and Jones, 5 minutes each for fighting. Luzon, first of all, gentlemanly fisticuffs here. He waits for Jones to officially get the gloves off before he even physically engages and throws a punch. And then once they do start throwing punches, he absolutely delivered a handful of pistons. The fight was over, and then he just stopped and allowed his fight mate to get back up, and they skated off the penalty box 5 minutes each. It was a hell of a couple of punches there by Luzon. He's definitely a tough player for this Nashville Predators team, and he was the clear winner in this one. Back to the hockey action. 18:21 of the second, Gibson comes up with a save on Trennan at close range. 18:36, Saros a save on Zegras off of the rush. Easily one of those dangerous players for the Anaheim Ducks at any moment in the game. Shots on goal at the end of the second period. Nashville 26, Anaheim 20. A high event second period. There is no doubt about that. The Preds with 16 shots on goal, and the Anaheim Ducks with 13 shots on goal here in the second period. 22 seconds into the third period, Saros comes up with a save on a deflection at the top of the crease at 1:47 of the third. Sherwood's second goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 3-2 lead over Anaheim. He banks the puck off of Gibson from behind the net. Hard to tell if he was trying to feed the puck into the slot or if this was an intentional bank shot, but I hope he calls it intentional going forward because it absolutely works. So Sherwood's second goal banks it off the back of Gibson and into the net, giving the Preds a 3-2 lead. 4:07 into the third period, Silverberg hits the post. Saros has to come up with a save with the edge of the toe on the follow-up shot. Incredibly difficult for a netminder to maintain his focus and his tracking, but you see Saros is otherworldly in both of those particular skill sets when it comes to playing goaltending in the NHL. 9:31 of the third period, Saros a save on Jones. 12:56, Gibson comes up with a save on Sherwood plus Jankowski's follow-up at 13:36 of the third period. Trennan, his 10th goal of the season, is barred down from the top of the crease. Sissons absolutely absorbed a massive hit. By the way, Colton Sissons back in this game. Hockey player, bringing the jam. Colton Sissons absolutely absorbs a massive hit to help make this play happen for his line mate in Yakov Trennan. His 10th goal of the season gives the Preds a 4-2 lead here in the third period. In the 6-on-5 scenario, we would see some otherworldly puck movement by the Anaheim Ducks, and they would utilize virtually every player in the zone and then find an open net for the 6-on-5 goal. It was Terry who finishes the play off into the empty net, his 19th of the season. Nashville now leads by 1. We go to the empty net scenario again immediately, and at 19:34, under more heavy pressure by Anaheim, McTavish gets his 16th goal of the season, and it is another 6-on-5 goal, and it comes with the jam. This ties the game up at 4 apiece, so 2 6-on-5 goals against the Nashville Predators in the final 2 minutes and 20-plus seconds. That means we have a 4-4 hockey game. The shots on goal are actually tied as well, 34 apiece. We hit the end of regulation. Very suddenly, the Nashville Predators find themselves in an overtime game. We are 57 seconds into the overtime session. It's a 3-on-3, and Gibson is coming up with a save on Duchesne. It's a 2-on-0 breakaway, and the Nashville Predators cannot get it to go. Anaheim immediately turns the play back the other way and goes down for a rush of their own. Saros comes up with a save on Terry off of the rush. Preds grab the puck, go down the ice with speed, and it is Tomasino carrying in, setting up the entire play for Tommy Novak to finish this game off with his 12th goal of the season. 1:11 into the 3-on-3 overtime session, the Nashville Predators secure a 5-4 victory in overtime in Anaheim. Second night of back-to-backs. One in the shootout last night in LA, one in overtime tonight against Anaheim. It is Anaheim out shooting the Preds 37-36 by the end of this game. But for the Nashville Predators, after giving up 2 goals in the 6-on-5 scenario, to come back and win this thing in overtime, highly impressive effort. Great job here by the Nashville Predators to hang in there. It was a 5th place team versus a 7th place team, but that doesn't make any difference for the Nashville Predators securing points, especially in a difficult circumstance. Several players out injured. Other players have already been traded away. A lot of experience out of the lineup right now, and the Preds' second night of back-to-backs on the tail end of a 6-game road trip. That's a highly impressive effort by this young core group, and it was led by the young core group. It's Tomasino setting up Novak to win the game in overtime for the Nashville Predators. Great job by the Nashville Predators closing this game out. I'm sure that flight home is going to seem very, very short compared to the amount of miles that they have put up over the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure everybody is going to be happy to be back home in Nashville, from the players to the staff to the crew that works behind the scenes and the broadcasters and everybody else who follows the team on a long road trip like that. Incredible job by everybody out there. Stick tabs, love, and respect respect to each of you road warriors out there taking care of business. That's some true no half-stepping effort right there. I truly appreciate everyone being out there. And for the Predators, a successful road trip that finds them right in the middle, in the thick of the playoff hunt. And that's not something we thought we would be saying just a couple of weeks ago. So the Preds, great job. We'll talk about the road trip in its entirety coming up in the analysis portion of the show. I just flipped it over to that sheet so you know that's what's coming up next. So we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with more from the Renegades of Puck Podcast.